under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowances is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, education, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Smash that like button. Let's go. And I am back with a live stream. Hey, everybody, what is going on? It's a little quiet in here. Let me do that one right there. Right there. How are you? It is your girl Survivor Speaks, and we are going to be continuing the reading of the court documents in the P. Diddy trial. As you all know, if you were here the last time, we stopped at the opening statements of the defense. It was so much that I had to break it up. But today is going to be like sort of a Diddy marathon reading of the docs. We're going to break it up. I'm going to take a break in between, which means that I'm going to end the live stream and come back. And I'll be here as, depending, because I want to catch up on the court docs so that we can get to the point, almost to the point where they are now. So we're actually reading the actual docs, the court docs. A greater feel for an idea of what, because people are reporting on it. I go to one person for her daily reports and updates. Tisa tells, and she's doing a great job. So shout out to her. This is her time, and nobody can take from her what the good Lord has for her. And the fact that she shares her platform with others is awesome. So we're going to get into the opening statements of the prosecution. Like I said, I get a better idea for this thing when reading the court documents, because nothing is left out. You'll be able to listen along to exactly what happened in the court verbatim. So if you're watching here on YouTube, thank you for being here. If you're watching on Twitter, X, formerly known as Twitter, thank you for being over there as well. We do ask that you come over here and join us on YouTube. Or if you don't want to come on YouTube, just come over here and just hit the like button over here. It will push the video out into the algorithm. And I would greatly appreciate you for that. Over here, if you like to hit the like button over here on YouTube, it does not say or dislike. It does not say who liked or disliked the video. It just says that you liked the video. Also, consider joining, subscribing to the channel over here on YouTube. We are well on our way. We are almost to 4K over here. Let me see exactly where we are. We are 3,969 subs over here. We're trying to get to 4,000. Help us get to 4,000 by the end of today. And then last but not least, hitting the like button over here on YouTube is a free way to support the channel. It's a free way to support the channel. So you also do have a way that you can support the channel by donating to the Cash App or Chime. All of the donations are not mandatory, it's voluntary, but it does go back into the platform. So we've made some upgrades. If you're not watching for the first time, you can see what they are. If you are watching, I keep forgetting to cover that. I'm not. They don't pay me. So anyway, side note, sorry. Yeah, so you have seen the updates made to the channel. So thank you all for that. Thank you all for being a part of the show today. And before we get started, we're going to hear a word from our sponsor, and then we will come back and start the reading of the opening statement, the defense's opening statement. Now, a word from our sponsor. From our sponsor, Survivor Speaks extends heartfelt gratitude to Emin Essentials for their generous sponsorship. From handmade soy wax candles for a cleaner burn to car and pet friendly room freshener sprays, they offer quality products tailored to your needs and do not use any dye in any of their products. Custom packaging is available upon request, along with a limited luxury line while supplies last. Visit www.inmanessentials.com now, and don't forget to subscribe and enter your email address for an exclusive 10% discount on your first order. What are you waiting for? Now back to the show. All right, all right, all right. We are back. We are back. We are back. Shout out to our sponsors. Now let's just see who is up in the building so I can say hello. I like to speak to everyone individually. So we have Allie over here, always holding me down over here on the YouTube side. But Twitter, formerly known as, X, formerly known as Twitter. Y'all be showing out over here, but I need y'all to come over here and hit this like button for your girl, Universal Tea with Marie. Thank you so much. And you know what? This was just something that I was able to get a break for and jump into today. Um, and so I haven't even updated Instagram that I'm live. So it is what it is. So thank you so much, Miss Universal Tea with Marie. Shout out to you for 3,000K subs. You deserve it. Love your content. Love the way you come over here and support your girl Survivor Speaks. So shout out to Universal Tea with Marie hitting that 3,000K subscribers. All right. So we have okay. So we have a where's the shorter trigger warning, Allie? Allie, we're gonna type that. You're welcome, Miss Universal Tea with Marie. Keep rising, keep going at it. Like, cause days I don't feel like going at it. God knows it's been a tough week for me. And I got a break today from family emergency. Shout out to my daughter, who's over there holding it down for your girl today, so that I can come and get a little rest and be with you all. So you're very much welcome. Thank you for always supporting and sharing the channel out. So we're going to get into the reading of the cross-examination, excuse me, the opening of the, wait, hold on, y'all. Now this is the I gotta go over here and drop the Z again. So yeah, so this is, we're going to start the cross. I said it again. We're going to start the opening statement for the of the defense. I need a, hold on. Let me just do this right here. I don't really. So yeah, you know what? I'll just do it. But yeah, because I was looking for that one. That one, the one that you put up, Allie, didn't carry over here. So I just wanted to just. It's just, and it's running in the scroll on the bottom. That is a trigger warning for. Okay, you just said that, and I just see that we here. Um, hey Rebecca Cry, what's going on? I'm glad that you are here. Rebecca, were you on a page the other day? a different one because somebody, I forgot that it's Becca. Hold on, let me got a membership the other day. Received a membership, and I'm like, is that you? Like, I'll tell you in a second. Let me just where am I? In the wrong place. It was I didn't even see that. I'm sorry, I was looking at a comment somebody left me. I'm gonna jack him up. Ah, thank you for it. Oh my goodness, I gotta send him a I have to say, thank you for joining the members. Shout out to Mook Mark Inc. The man behind all of the music that you hear behind my videos. He joined as a member, left a message. So anyhow, I'm looking for. Okay, so yeah, I was in the right place, but I want to see. I don't know if that's you, Becca TX. Rebecca, is that you? Because you were. If that's you, you received a membership the other day. The other day when you were saying you don't get the you never got a membership, so I'm not sure. I just wanted to, when I saw it, I was like, is that her? Because if so, yeah, you did receive a on that under that name, you did receive a membership the other day. Okay, and so, yeah, let me just drop. I have to drop the doc because I had to put my water, add my watermark to the docs. Sorry, y'all. There's a lot been going on. If you sent me an email on how to get these court docs, the real court docs, um, I have not checked my email. Life has been life in this week, so I'm sorry, I have not. But they're floating around. I mean, I'm not sure what other people have. The court documents, as I stated, are expensive, and so if you want a copy of the court documents, you put into the pot. I'm not the person to get them from. I wouldn't do that. I will refer you to the person that I got them from. But I have not, just to be honest with you all, I have not checked my emails because it's been a long week. Um, so I'll be getting around to that. But I did go ahead and watermark. Here we go. Everything else, I mean, it's just that, that okay. It's just that, people don't people think that running a YouTube channel is easy, that we just get on here and just turn the camera on and it is easy. And no, there is time, money goes into the channel, for people that want to improve their channels. Um, And so support is just hitting a like button. And a lot of times people don't want to even hit the like button. Like so, or the dislike button. Anyway, it's engagement. And so, you know, these court documents are expensive. They're not cheap. The real court docs are expensive. And so yeah, I'm just not going to give them away for free. Young the YouTuber that um has them and put his money out for them up front, these court documents cost anywhere from 300 to $500 per day. So meaning for each day of the trial, it's another $300 to $500 depending. Oh, Rebecca. I was like, wait, is that her? She finally you so Allie, did you look into how she would opt into the membership program? Because I believe that is why you're not receiving a free membership. You're not opted into the memberships. You have to opt into that. All right. So let me get down to the opening statements. I was going to say now, I know. All right, so here we are. So Miss Garagos is the person who is the reading who is conducting the opening statement. And so I'm going to start reading it. I'm going to try not to break too much because um, these things along. And then with the defense, of course, they minimize they're trying to minimize, what Diddy did. This is not a case only about Cassie, and the people need to stop looking at it that way. And the RICO is already being introduced now. You have Kid Cudi that should be on a stand on Monday. They have surprise witnesses they're bringing into the court, and these are people that could be co-conspirators and charged. So rather than do 15 years for P. Diddy, so they are telling what happened. So they're flipping, if you will. So one of the witnesses that flipped and got granted immunity, according to what they reported, he told some stuff, but then he started praising Puffy like he's a god. People need to take away the celebrity and look at the man, look at the acts. If y'all want to, and this is something I thought I'd never do, but I am, go and look at the interview that Tasha K did with Gina, the other victim who's now refusing to testify, or she's not coming to the courts to testify, is what the last thing that we heard. But go watch her video and listen to what she said. It's identical to Cassie. And also, the defense is saying that Cassie was jealous of Gina. Oh, that's why you're mad. You were jealous of Gina. You were jealous of Gina, like she was harassing Gina or something. So in that interview, Gina said that Cassie reached out to her, but Cassie was very nice to her. She was not mean. It didn't sound like anything malicious. And the last time she reached out to her, she was no longer with Diddy. She was with her husband. She didn't say that she wasn't no longer with Diddy. She was with her husband. But based on the timeline, I knew that she had already left Diddy, and that was for good. She never went back. But she sent her a message and told her that she was thinking about her. And I'm paraphrasing here because she was once her. She used to be in the same position that she was in now at this time. Now, the first time she's reached out to her, she asked him to leave him alone. But she said she was never nasty to her. So that would kind of like debunk what Diddy's defense is trying to portray, that Cassie was just so jealous of Gina is the reason why she's upset. That because they were in a toxic relationship, Cassie and Diddy, so that excuses the abuse. It is absurd to me. The hotel incident is not an isolated incident. There were many hotel incidents. And the full video, the 15-minute video unedited, is on Tisa Tell's page. You can go over there and see it. And they show it from different angles. And when they show it from the second angle, after he drug her and he let her go, he had to hold the towel and he had the bag in his hand. He started walking up the hallway and noticed she wasn't walking behind him, so he dropped the bag and went at her. And you can see them. You can't hear anything, but you can see them. Like him saying something to her, and you can't really see his hands at that point. But pay attention to the video when they show it from the first angle, after he stomps on her, kicks her, drags her like a rag doll. Then he goes and sit down in the chair, and then he hurls whatever. You can see it all through the glass. So the defense, what they're trying to say, you can actually see it. You have to, you look at it, you have to look like you're looking through, like you can see through my glasses. You can see something through my glasses. Me on the screen here. You could see the document that I have up over here through the glasses if you're that sophisticated or whatever you want to call it. But you can see him throwing what turned out to be the vase against, at her. But then you can also see when they show from the other angle how many times he came back at her. She was frail. She had she called security. They show that. She picked up the phone and who she called was security. Now, the security officer who is witness number one, that I'm going to probably break this video and I'm going to go into that one. You were able to ask questions you could see on the video. This is all from the video. You were able to ask questions. You can't hear what him and Diddy talk about, but Cassie goes the other way. She needs her things. You can tell. Then you see security go in the room. Pay attention. Because he's on the radio, he picks up the phone when he first comes up, and then when he's talking to Diddy, he's on the radio. Shortly after that, you'll see housekeeping come up and go around the corner where Diddy and them is, where the room is. And this is all in that 15-minute video. We have to watch it. And so then you see Cassie go into the room where they're at, and shortly after, you'll see her leaving with her bag. She's leaving because if it wasn't for that security guard, she wasn't able to leave. So all the people that's saying she could have left. No, Diddy came at her about 3 or 4 times on that video. Watch the full 15-minute unedited video, and they show it from 3 different angles. 3 or 4. I think it's 3. First, they show the elevator when you just see her coming, putting on her socks. And then he comes running around the corner. And he, does what he does to her. Kicks her, stomps her, drags her. You'll see that. Then you'll see her go over and pick up the phone. You'll see her do this like 2 times, because he's coming at her. So it was more than 3 or 4 times that he came after her. Because in the other video, he had already started walking down the hall, and he realizes and notices she's not coming back with him. So he dashes back, and she keeps a distance. So it is just very disheartening to see how many people, because this is P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Brother Love on top, Tucci on bottom. You can't see past that. But if it was your mother or your sister, would you feel the same? And then everybody's like, oh, well, this is just a domestic violence case. No, everybody that helped order the baby oil that was laced, the ketamine, the eye drops. I said the eye drops. The eye drops was laced with MDMA and ketamine. So yeah, they found those on the day that they arrested him because he allegedly had a freak off. So there is a victim that's going to be testifying under the pseudonym Jane. She is someone who was in a relationship with Puffy. She's nobody. She didn't file a lawsuit. She's not asking for any money. None of the other things that the defense is using. He called her from jail. They have the jail recordings. Tried to coerce her to say that she wanted the freak-offs. And she kept pushing back. No, I didn't. I kept telling you I didn't. She was a single mother who he was messing around with, and he was paying her bills. After he calls her, he calls Pierre Harvey, however you say his name. Make sure you're paying her rent. Because he knew how to get him out of there. There'll just be Cassie just on the stand because Gina ain't coming. How does his attorneys know Gina ain't coming? Oh, for always. Oh, I'm sorry. You know what happened for always? I had the live schedule for 4:15, and today I had a little more time, so I decided and I changed the time, but we're still going to go. Uh, I'm probably going to read through the opening because we did the opening statements from the prosecution the other day. Oh my goodness, it was explosive. It was like just teen too much. So now we're going to read the opening from the prosecution. And of course, they're going to try to minimize everything that he's that the prosecution is alleging. But the thing is, during this trial, they have not denied anything that they have charged him with. They have asked questions like, didn't he blow up Kid Cudi's car? Ask Cassie because you guys were cheating. Did what happened, but to you and Kid Cudi, isn't that because you were cheating? I don't know how many times and how many ways you can ask a person about cheating. Does that excuse abuse? Does that excuse having me be a part of a freak off for 3 to 4 days at a time? Being honest, this video is not for kids. I already marked that it's for adults. Being honest, not normal people in normal situations is not trying to go 3 or 4 hours all day straight, no sleep. They so much that you need an IV and medication to recover. Her lady parts are swollen. She's saying, no, I can't take no more, but you got her so drugged up. She no longer feels pain. And now she's addicted. Why did she stay? Why did she stay? Why didn't she just leave? I guess a lot of people haven't been in a domestic violence relationship. It says it takes a person about 7 to 8, sometimes more. Some people never leave. And due to the simple fact that she was signed to Bad Boy under a contract for 10 albums, she made one. And she created a lot of music. She recorded a lot of music. But to keep her on the hook, to keep her here, you recorded it. We was in the studio. You showing pictures. She's in the studio. You didn't release nothing else. It's control. It's called control, people. It's time to give up the praising and all that stuff of this dude. I don't understand y'all. Some of y'all I'm looking at sideways. And everybody wants to go away from, oh, don't look over here. Oh, what about Jay-Z? Jay-Z don't have nothing to do with this case. Until they bring charges against Jay-Z, or if they ever bring charges, he does not have anything to do with this case. People are just reporting for a click in the view, and this is why I'm reading the court docs. Because don't nobody have time for all that, for a click in the view, you want to be adding stuff. This is somebody's life, but they are still testifying for victim number 1, who is Cassie. That's why a lot of things are about Cassie right now, because they have not gotten to victim number 2 yet, or there is a victim number 3 who would have been Gina. They've already said in open court that victim number 3 was Gina. She was missing. They found her behind, and now she ain't coming. Yes, for always. Thank you for that. The antibiotics stopped working. We're gonna get to that testimony, but the antibiotics stopped working. That's how bad it was. That's how bad it was. Shout out to Alex Fine, Cassie's husband. I hope him not hearing this, but you know what? His mother is a DV survivor. It's no secret. I heard about this a long time ago, way before all of this. They started finally bringing charges against Diddy before the lawsuit that his mother was a DV survivor. It was nothing that he could do to help her, but he did what nobody else would do, what no other man would do. Not let Diddy scare him, and he said, "I'm gonna stick beside her as long as I know what's good. I'm gonna stick beside her. What you gonna do to me? Bring it." Alex Pond said, "Bring it." And when Cassie was strong enough, he wants everybody to know when Cassie was ready and when Cassie was strong enough, Cassie decided, "I'm strong enough. Let's do this. I'm ready to do this." And they had been together and married for 5 years, and this dude was still harassing him. All right, y'all, let's get into the reading because let me say, Allie said she is doing really well in this home, still a road ahead of her, but she has done a lot. Yeah, oh yeah. Okay. I think Allie, I think she probably asked about baby Allie. Shout out to baby Allie. Um, doing the daggone thing. Um, Suffer always says people that are trying to make excuses for Diddy are suspect to me. Baby, me too. I don't understand. It seems like they might be doing the same thing to women. Cause what the whole entire F? That's exactly what I said. Like you got to be kidding me. Nobody that has a mother that they love, sisters that they love, family that they love, just that one video. Because like I said, the video is an isolated incident, but it's not the only incident. It's one incident. She endured 20 years of this abuse. And she really didn't want to be with him. He forced her. He's like a stalker when it comes to all of his relationships. Not now, don't leave here now. But when we stop for today, go over there and pull up the no, whether y'all, sometimes, times you can't be doing Lord's work, sometimes she don't. But in this case, go over there and listen to the interview for yourself. But Miss Gina just was so in love. But guess what? Miss Gina said that she saw her mother get beat. So she thought it was love. Like a lot of women are think that it's love. It's not. Abuse in any form is not love, regardless to what. And for me, mental abuse is worse than physical abuse. So she endured both. Sometimes it's worse. So you got to sometimes say, you know what, I'm not going for this ish no more. I'm strong enough to be out of here. Sometimes circumstances don't allow, like, women to say, like, I'm just done with this shit. I'm just going to pick up my stuff. We've been here 10 minutes. Yeah. I'm going to pick up my ish and I'm going to go my own way. You stay in your own little narcissistic, selfish world. So, and for all of the money that he was paying out for these freak offs, Bad Boy Records was a label, but Bad Boy Records was under another label. I'm not gonna say what it is because listen, y'all go over there, and if they say it in the court docs, I will say it. But I'm not gonna just come out and say they were under another label. So if you signed a Bad Boy, this is where the money is coming from. So she got money. He got money for her to do 10 albums. So if you want to really, really think about it, the way I thought about it, all of the money that he was spending on her was hers. All the money he was spending for these freak offs was money from her budget. She only put out one album, people. He got money for her to do 10. But y'all don't hear me though. Thank you so much, Allie. I see that you have already went over there on X and you dropped that over there on X, formerly known as Twitter. If you guys will come over here and hit the like button over here on the YouTube, hit the subscribe button. We're on the road to 4K. We are so close. We're almost there. I will greatly appreciate it. So now let's get into the opening statement of. Oh, really? I'm sorry. I was something just came across my screen. I'm like, really? I didn't even know I set that up already. But okay. Um. So we're gonna get in so that we can start the reading of these court documents. Hold on a minute. What are you talking about? Oh, all right. All right. So yeah, I don't know it. I have to look at that later. Cause maybe. All right. So yeah, let's get into this reading. I don't know why. All right. So we have Miss Garagos, who is she is conducting the opening statement for the defense. So she says, Sean Combs is a complicated man, but this is not a complicated case. This case is about love, jealousy, infidelity, and money. This case is about voluntary adult choices made by capable adults in consensual relationships. This case is about those real life relationships, and the government is trying to turn those relationships into a racketeering case, a street walking lady case, or man. I don't think we can say that over here, and an eggs trafficking case. It will not work. Let's start with the basics. The most important things in this courtroom are you and him. At a time when everything in the government can feel so uncertain, the thing has remained the same in our justice system, and that is standing between all of us and a criminal conviction is a jury of our peers. That is you. You will hear the evidence, you will get to the truth, you will see the witnesses and evaluate them one by one. And finally, the story about this case can finally come out. Why do I say that? I say that because this case is not about what you've heard on the news, read in the news, or have seen on social media for the past year and a half. This case is not about what civil attorneys looking for a payday are trying to make my client out to be. There has been a tremendous amount of noise around this case for the past year, and it is time to cancel that noise and hear and see the evidence that will be presented in this courtroom. And it will be crystal clear. The story of Sean Combs is a fascinating one, but it is a human one. We are going to tell you his story over the next 2 months in this courtroom, and you will learn that he is a man who grew up here in New York City, in Harlem, who came from little but built groundbreaking lawful businesses. And that's where he should have stayed. Like, what the heck? Diddy is a selfish man. And I'm saying that because things are heating up in this case. It is getting harder and harder to listen to, but it's hard to look away because this is a man that people looked up to they looked up to him for years. But his children, his twin daughters, I feel so bad for his daughters. His younger daughter, I think Love is what, 2 now, I think. His other daughter, Chase, the one that the fake victims talking about, if you do a DNA on her, she's probably hers. I think that all of the fake victims should be charged and they should do time as well. Everybody keeps asking, is Allie Carter, when is Allie Carter testifying? Why would she be testifying? I'm just saying what I believe about what I've seen, about what I've read. There's a lot going on. There's a reason why she's not, she's right in the vicinity where she grew up at. She has not left there. There are some investigators that know exactly where she is. So when she comes online, and God forgive me if I'm wrong, I'm not just going to be, and people like, she doesn't want any money, she just wants justice. Are y'all dumb? Are y'all dumb? That's what I be. Sometimes I'm saying in my head, are y'all stupid or are you dumb? She has a nonprofit organization. A nonprofit organization. It's a nonprofit organization, but she can. You do pay yourself. So the fact that she's not coming out here asking for donations, she's saying, "Oh, we'll donate to," because what about the children? If you pull up pictures of her when she was with her mother, and then pull up the pictures with her now, the first time I saw this girl, I was not paying attention to her story, but the first time I saw it, I knew right away she's on drugs. Her teeth was not like that. The lady that she's with used to work for CPS. She got fired because of Allie Carter. She's not even supposed to be with Allie. So that's why the whole 19-year-old thing comes into play, because Allie was missing. She was not missing, trafficked over in Russia. She was with this lady. That lady is not her mother. That's a twisted, sick relationship. Y'all need to stop letting people pull a wool over your eyes. I wish I would donate a penny to Allie's army. All of the smoke and mirrors and all of the things you see, that is acting. She was a dance instructor. Right now, I can't remember the name that she went under. I don't do commentary on Allie Carter. But Allie Carter and her mother, Shelly, behind the scenes, attack content creators that don't go along with their narrative. So a lot of people started to hear the real story. You don't hear her talking about she's Tupac's daughter no more, do you? Because her daddy lived right there in the same city where she is. So does her mama. And her mama was here on YouTube acting a fool at one point. Her biological mother, her sister. Stop being so gullible. She's been doing this for years. Oh, in the children. Oh, and I got something today. Right? The third video of hers I watched is when she was saying, oh, she was in the tunnels, she was this, she was that, Diddy, whoever else, and then the election came up. Oh, then they switched Joe Biden. How do I know? Joe Biden has a 7-inch PE, wang. Right then I said, this bitch lying, she crazy. And Hunter's is 8 inches, because he did me too. And all the conspiracy theories about the honorable Miss Michelle Obama being a man. These are like transgender, like these are the same narratives that they throw out there that are false. It is disheartening to be a woman and listen to people say that you were born a male and put you in the LGBTQ community. And I love the LGBTQ community. Shout out to y'all. I'm just talking about Ali Carter as it relates to Michelle Obama and the false narrative that other people were running with because they're mad because that man was the president of the United States and she is his sophisticated, very educated wife. That she's a woman, a classy woman at that. But people are so quick to jump on these bandwagons. People don't like truth. They like salaciousness. They like to hear that type of dirt. They don't want you to clear it up with facts. Just keep the smoke and mirrors going. And in the meantime, while they're saying, look over here at this stuff that doesn't matter, they are trying to strip everyone of their constitutional rights. And if you think that it only pertains to people of color, think again. It's all women. It doesn't make a difference what color you are, but the women that they are holding up and, oh yeah, let's pray, are part of the agenda. They can do no wrong. But for you other women out here, doesn't make a difference what color you are, what race you are. Color and race, but yeah, whatever. Maybe the same thing. It doesn't. Ethnicity does not make a difference. They are trying to strip you of your rights. They want to take you back to the kitchen, barefoot and pregnant. That's what they're trying to do. But go on ahead and keep riding, because yeah. Let me get up. Let me get back on the track. But I'm just saying, people were asking, when is Ali Carter testifying? Why? She said she made that clear when this stuff started coming out about Diddy. She had to get in front of it. She made it clear. Oh, now the feds want to do something. Don't call me now. Don't call me. When I was telling y'all with my affidavits, which is just a document that is notarized, it didn't go through the legal system, through the legal processes, through the courts. It's something that she wrote and somebody notarized it. Y'all don't hear me though. Okay, so anyway. The story of Sean Combs is a fascinating one, but it is a human one. We are going to tell you his story over the next 2 months in this courtroom, and you will learn that he is a man who grew up here in New York City in Harlem, who came from little but built groundbreaking lawful businesses and did. But you will hear that he is a wealthy individual, but know that the evidence will show that nobody gave him this money. He stole it. A lot of it. There's a lot of those people out here telling their story. So, defense, allegedly. These people are out here. The day 26 interview is disturbing at best. It's disturbing to see 5 grown men crying. Because one of their band members, and he has not said yet what was done to him, but he is now on psych meds, he said. He gets a shot. He's bipolar. From reading an email about something that they were going to do, they were going to offer him. I do know that that's it. You can read between the lines and tell that. But it's something else that happened to him is the reason why that he's not telling, but he shared it with the members of Day 26. And they had to go to a break in this interview because they all were crying. Now, the other one said nothing happened to them. This Q is his name. He actually was with Diddy before the other 4, before they became Day 26. He was already working with him. So, Yeah, it is very disturbing to see. I'm talking about hard down crying, like boo hoo, we need to take a break. Yeah. What and you know what? For always, it goes both ways. I'm listening to DV in the apartment above me, but it's the woman doing the DV to the man. This happens every couple of days. Sound like they are going to fall through my ceiling. It goes both ways. You have some women that abuse men. That's crazy. That in this time while you're watching this, that and that and you know, and the thing is, a lot of times why the police don't do anything is because you call the cops, they come out. The person that is being abused turns on the officers, and sometimes they wind up losing their lives. Like it happened so many times, but nonetheless, they still should come. And if we look at the Lori Daybell trial, if we remember what happened when not Chad, Lord, Charles Vallow called the cops, for those who were here for that. He was trying to tell them, and what he was trying to tell them about, none of the individuals live. They all of their lives are taken. They don't take it serious enough. They don't take domestic violence serious enough at all. They don't. So they're trying to distract everyone. Like when you're dealing with a narcissist, and you are so used to people just praising the ground that you walk on, people going to walk and get cheesecake because they want to be in the entertainment industry, or people getting up that never exercise it, it doesn't make a difference how small they are. They never exercise, so they don't have the capacity to run freaking 6 miles, just to stay on making the band. Like it is so crazy. But there is a success story of one of the young ladies from making the band. um she only lasted, I think, to, I forgot what season and stuff she on, but her son is making music, and his mother, oh my god, it was just so beautiful. I saw her the other day. She is talented, but like this, the spotlight is, it's like a full circle moment. So yeah, she was thrown off, but beautiful voice. um I would have to look it up. Y'all know my right now I'm focused on this, so yeah. um and so Ali said that this case and situation is disturbing beyond disturbing. It really is. And Diddy has done so much damage to people, including his own kids, and don't care. Far under the prisons is where he belongs. And I don't object. I feel so bad for those girls. This is the year that they are supposed to be stepping out. They have went to the prom. They are graduating. Chase just started college. They said he just checked into college like a couple days before he was arrested. But now they will forever wear the stain of the Combs name, even if he walks. Do you think brands are not going to want to have anything to do with him? And if he does get time, which I believe that he is, um, brands are not going to want to work with his daughters either. They may be able to create something of their own, and people probably will, but like brands will wear, like he didn't 100% own Ciroc. That's why you had De Leon. He didn't 100% own that either. It's always investors and people putting their money on them, but he is a very business minded. He has that swag about him, but then he has this darker, deeper side to him. Sins of the father. Love it. Love that. He has this darker side to him that is just crazy. And your kids, your kids. Why? Who thought it was a good idea? Because Diddy had this, knew what was going to come out in court, right? Who had the idea to have them stand as a family unit and to bring those children into the courtroom while they read all that mess that those girls had to get up and leave? What they heard already up until the time that they left, they can't unhear it. Whose bright idea was that? But it probably was his bright idea because he's a narcissist. Oh, let's the sympathy. You guys already lost your mother, but why did they? All right, let me read on because I don't want to get into I don't want to get into that. But all right, so you will hear that he is a wealthy individual, but know that the evidence will show that nobody gave him this money. He stole it. That it don't say that in the transcript, y'all. I'm sorry, allegedly. Okay, so he worked for it, and no one gave him a dime. I beg to differ. It will show that he made every single dollar, recreate a culture, and produce music that I believe you will hear with here will change the generation. And I believe that the evidence is going to show you believe. I believe. Key word, I believe. She's saying I believe instead of saying the evidence. And the evidence is going to show. No, I believe. Believe. Pay attention to the small words. I believe. I believe. I believe he could fly. All right. So, and I believe that the evidence is going to show that this ingenuity. Am I saying that right, y'all? Ingenuity, child, is what drew people to Mr. Combs. Witnesses will share with you that Mr. Combs is a fascinating person and that people are drawn to him. Yes, he is famous. Yes, he is wealthy, and that's certainly part of it. But he was charismatic and magnetic and a larger than life figure, and that is true. And that's what he should have did so much with his with that. If you had any interest in climbing the social ladder at the time and being involved in the music industry, the apparel industry, spirits industry, attending his legendary parties, you wanted to be around Sean Combs. Okay, so there was parties and then there was parties after the party. That's the party you didn't want to be in at the time. All those people that was at those parties, they didn't know they didn't want to be at the party after the white party. After the white party is the after party. After the party is the after party. Then after the party is the hotel lobby and yeah, the hotel lobby. Child. Anyhow. So you also wanted to be around him because of the benefits that came along with being with him, like the people that were signed to him that are only one hit wonders. As you listen to the evidence in this case, try to remember why that matters. Try to remember why people stayed around him and why it matters. I expect it will matter to you as a jury because he gave people opportunities and he gave people chances to work at his companies. They believed he had a vision that few others had, and for the most part, I believe the evidence will show you that they loved him. I don't think that the witnesses will tell you they always liked what he did or how he behaved. Listen to the undertones now, y'all. Now let's listen to the undertones of what she's saying here. But the real-time text messages that you will review in this case show that the people really loved him. And they believed that by being with Sean Combs, they were part of something special. So by now, you've heard the government say a lot of things about my client. It's time for me to introduce you to him. His name is Sean Combs. You may have heard him by Puff, Daddy, P. Diddy, Puffy, Diddy. She forgot Brother Love on top of Tucci on bottom. Excuse me, that the last name that's my name. Love on top, Tucci on bottom. But standing in this courtroom at 55 years old, in the same place he was born and raised, he's going by the same name he was born with, Sean Combs. My name is Tenny. Garagos, and I am one of the attorneys honored to represent him. You know, I love that $10 million of money that I'm part the part of the 10 million that I'm getting to shoot. The government started their opening statement by telling you this about a 20-year racketeering, influence, corrupt organization act enterprise that he committed with his apparent trusted inner circle. The only people in this courtroom who will tell you that they participated in, knew about, or came to an agreement to participate in a racketeering enterprise are the prosecutors. That didn't age well. They didn't say it like that, but that didn't age well for the defense. All right. So, not one witness will get into this courtroom and will take that witness stand and tell you that they were part of any racketeering, influence, corrupt organization, act, or enterprise. They didn't know that that's what it was called. And the reason is simple, there was not one. You heard what the government tried to say. The enterprise is that he used his lawful business to feed his every desire, including actual ones. This case is about Sean Combs' private, personal eggs life, which has nothing to do with his lawful businesses. Once he started commingling money, it had everything to do with his businesses. He commingled funds. That is a crime. And he used those funds to fund. It's not like he paid himself, because right, you have a business, you pay yourself, and then you pay the rest of it. Okay, so it's not like he's taking it out of an account where I paid myself, this is my personal account. No, he took it out of the account, the business accounts. And they were somebody testified, I forget which person it was, already, that it's the assistant, the one that flipped, that guy they gave immunity the other day. He had them buy rugs, rugs, throw rugs, y'all know, put a D on the front of it, with cash, and he would reimburse them out of the business account. Because sometimes they use their own money because, it was just like, okay, we ran out of cash during these break-offs. But we need more rugs. We got to keep Cassie rugged up. We got to keep Jane rugged up. Gina, you went and did a whole interview and didn't say that you was part of these break-offs. I guess that's the part that she did not want people to know. She thought that this was truly love. Child, y'all need to go watch that interview. I just was like, Tasha K, that interview might be going up. And I don't even follow her. But I sure went over there and watched that video and gave her a view for that. Because from the opening statement, I wanted to know, is she Jane? She's actually not Jane. Jane is going to testify. Gina, the defense says she ain't coming. I'm still trying to figure out how y'all know they ain't. Hey, she's gaslighting at its finest. Child. Smash that like button if you're here and you're watching, please. The dislike button, it's not going to tell me if you like the button or dislike. If you like the video or dislike the video, it'll just be for engagement. It's a free way to support the show, support the channel. And I thank you kindly. And shout out to everybody over there watching on Twitter. X, formerly known as Twitter. All right. So, the people will come into this courtroom and testify. The people who will come into this courtroom and testify are the people who would know about a racketeering enterprise. And those people will all say they knew nothing about any enterprise. Some of y'all witnesses is flipping. flipping and flopping like fishes. So that is because these hardworking individuals were either doing their jobs as personal assistants or as top executives running his successful businesses. These are individuals educated at places from Harvard to Howard University. The prosecution will bring in those same employees and others into this courtroom and have them testify that Sean Combs has a temper. And when he drank or when he did the wrong rugs, he would get violent. So, so right here in the opening statement, they're going to blame it on the alcohol and the rugs. And then they don't switch their defense style. What we had 8 days of the trial, they switched the defense for him so many different times. They're just jumping around trying to find something, because what the prosecution is doing is building a case, and as the case is building, they're adding stuff. They're knocking out those counts that they have to prove that this case is a RICO case. And the momentum is getting stronger. Each witness. And I'm sad to say, you know we love Brian still, but Brian, how you get mixed up in this mess? They said Brian tried with Kid Cudi, but Kid Cudi was standing firm. I said what I said. Shout out to Kid Cudi for coming through and really telling what it was with Cassie. And everybody, was trying to say he took away something different, but her and Puffy wasn't together when they were, messing around. And she was never the only person. Cassie wasn't. Child. All right, that is okay. Okay, so the prosecution will bring in those saying, okay, so yeah, and when he drew, okay, so we down here. So my client is not proud of that, but it is one of the many things we are going to own and fully admit right up front at this trial. Did I hear that though? I'm gonna read that again because I need people to hear what they said. The prosecution will bring in those same employees and others into this courtroom and have them testify that Sean Combs has a temper. And when he drank or when he did the wrong rugs, he would get violent. My client is not proud of that, but it is one of the many things we are going to own and fully admit right up front at this trial. I got you, Allie. Okay, got you. Thank you. Yeah, he's gonna admit it right up front at the trial. Little did we know this guy was high all the time. Child, he had rugs in the eye drops, rugs in the candy, rugs in the lollipop form. Everything was laced with rugs. Yeah, you know what? You wasn't here the other day for Always, and I was like, oh my god, you know what? Because people are reporting on on this case, and some people are reading transcripts, and all they know is that Brian Steele is from the YSL case. We're not going to take nothing from Miss Nicole Westmoreland. No, we're not going to do that. Miss Nicole Westmoreland is a beast as well. And her and Brian Steele came on this case together. They didn't really come out and really say that Brian Steele was an attorney on this case. They just showed him walking in at the courtroom with Miss Westmoreland, and they were like, oh yeah, and they just added this black female attorney. This was somebody was saying on the other, and I was like, that is the honorable Miss Nicole Westmoreland. And then it was like, yeah, she was. Somebody said, yeah, she was a attorney in the YSL trial. She got the guy found not guilty on all charges. Wrong. I said, God damage. That's not what happened. During the trial, she was an attorney in the YSL case for another defendant who got some time, less time than what he would have received, but he got some time. Yak Gotti was attorney in the YSL trial. It was was Doug Weinstein, and this was his first criminal case. Those of us that was tuned into the YSL trial know Doug Weinstein was the attorney of Yak Gotti, and when he was found not guilty in the YSL case. However, there was a private, not a private, this warrant popped out from nowhere. So this man was found not guilty of all of the charges, but was still incarcerated. So Bruce Harvey, one of my faves, and Miss Nicole Westmoreland represented Yak Gotti in that part of the case. And now he got probation for a charge that he received while he was incarcerated because he was protecting himself because these people were trying to take him out. And I was sitting there in the chat like, oh no, they got it all wrong. Oh, and I could have said, let me just leave. I'm gonna just leave because this is all wrong. No, she didn't. Her client didn't get found not guilty, but they did an excellent job. She is a beast of an attorney. And that's all I can tell you. How her and Brian Steele, I'm somebody said that. Now, for always, tell me if you heard this, because I've never heard this before. That Brian Steele volunteered to get on this case. I'm like, I don't think, he tried to hire Joe Tacopina, and Joe Tacopina said, no. He tried to hire Joe Tacopina 3 times. I'm gonna have to start saving these clips because Joe Tacopina did say he said it himself. Yeah, if anybody doesn't know who Joe Tacopina was, he was the attorney that represented ASAP Rocky in the case against ASAP Rocky. We still suing you, ASAP Rocky, because that was just a bunch of 403 waste of time. Yeah, that one. So yeah, so he represented him, and then he requested his services 3 times, and 3 times he told him, no. There was a reason why. There may be some other people that maybe need his services, and he's friends with them, and he may be their attorneys if need be. But also, it's a bunch of conflict of interest. He used a bunch of different reasons why. No. Mm-mm. So yeah, Bruce Harvey. Yeah, all of the defense team in a YSL trial was awesome. Awesome. And so, okay, so he asked him, but did he retain him? Is he paying him? Because I was like, I don't think that. Because Steele and Young Thug have a personal relationship. So they have a personal relationship. He has been doing things with him for 15 years. Like, altogether, it was a total of 15 years. When they were on trial, and he paid them. So I'm like, for him to come over here and be like, I'm just, he asked me, so I'm gonna just join this team and not get paid. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna say that's not true because I'm not sure. So if I'm not sure, I'm just wait. If he asked him, he said yes. I don't think he came over here for nothing. He's an attorney in Georgia. Like, anyhow. It was just my head was hurting. Diddy had to replace the attorney named Rico. Yes, we know who left without saying. I believe that Rico saw the Rico. Ain't that something? A play. I said that the other day. I said, now Rico, he left. He didn't tell us why he leave, but Rico saw that Rico. That's what happened. Rico saw that Rico, and he said, "I'm out of here." So that's what I'm saying. I was just like, where they getting this stuff from? Like that's the point that I'm making. Like him and Doug had a relationship prior to this the YSL case. I'm gonna just go over here and volunteer for you. The cases are different, very different. No, you're gonna pay me what? Yeah, I'm gonna come over here. And Miss Westmoreland, I don't really want to talk about the reason why I think he hired her. It's not just because she's an African American woman. That's not the only reason. I'm just not going to talk about the reasoning I think he hired her. Um, but this is not this case is not a platform for her to tell her story. So I know people research attorneys and stuff like that, and they probably can do their research and find out about her, because they were just downplaying her, and I didn't like that. Like, even though she's Diddy's attorney, one of them, and I'm confuzzled about why. She's a daggone good attorney. She's not loud. She's just like, and didn't you? Okay. And you said that on this date, but how was it this date? Because, I checked and I got this date. So which date is true? Yeah, okay. And her okays mean, yeah, right. Yeah, okay. All right. So let me ask you about, and she's that calm, but she's eating. But I heard that in this case, she ate, but only to the extent that she could. To the extent that people was like, she tore her up, but they didn't realize that when the prosecution came back for redirect, they kind of debunked, like, if you ask questions to a certain point, you're only going to ask the questions you want the person on the stand to answer, especially if you're on the defense side. You're not going to want to clarify anything. And if the prosecution misses it and doesn't clear it up on redirect, then it's a win for the defense. But when the prosecution got back up there, they cleared up the questions that she asked Dawn. So a lot of people, like I said, are still saying, like, Dawn's whatever. Her memory, it was 10 years. Sometimes I can't, I have a reason why. Sometimes I can't remember what happened. If it's not important to me, I can't remember what happened 2 hours ago. Shit. Let alone decades ago, or, a decade ago. So all we know is he came downstairs, Cassie was cooking the eggs and ain't do nothing, and he came down there and snatched the pot and told her she could do nothing right, and then swung the pot at her. I don't know which way the god daggone eggs flew. I don't know if the eggs hit in I don't remember that. I know he grabbed the pot and swung it. Next, that would have been me. But they was trying to figure out all the details, which made it look like she was being untruthful. Look, I don't know if the opinion hit upside the head or hit the wall. So those are the things that Nicole Westmoreland was picking apart. Okay, so you said, but was it the eggs? Was it the like it? But it's so stupid. It's so stupid when you think about it. Like, y'all over here arguing. I mean, I understand that. Okay, did he not? The simple fact is he came downstairs, didn't say nothing. They said that he wouldn't say anything to Cassie, but he would just start whooping on her. Sometimes they would used to be like, well, what did she do? Because he did it in front of everybody for years. And nobody said nothing. All right. So Sean Combs has a bad temper. He sometimes gets so angry or so jealous that he is out of control. You will see evidence and you will hear some testimony that does not portray my client in a good light. You will hear some text messages, some voice notes, and some witness testimony that may make you think, I don't think this guy is a great guy. I don't like how he just lied to his girlfriends. I don't like the things he just said in that text message. I want to tell you now, there may be one point, there may be multiple points at this trial where you think, I think he is a jerk and I think he is kind of mean, but he is not, um, but he is not charged with being mean. He is not charged with being a jerk. He's charged with running a racketeering enterprise. Everybody that ordered the baby oil, everybody that set up the rooms for the free golfs, everybody that came and refreshed those rooms, well, because the rooms got so messy. How do you have a room at the Beverly Hills Hotel, and when you book your rooms, they tell them to put the room out of commission because it's going to have to go through extensive cleaning. How do you mess up a hotel room so bad that they had to renovate the room? Child. So, and though there was violence that you are going to hear about, you already have. You already have. How did they hear about it? Oh, they heard about it in the opening statement. Are you talking about like the rumors that are now in the courts because they weren't just rumors? Which one you talking about, Miss Garagos? Anyway, that violence is not part of any RICO. That violence is not connected to eggs trafficking, and that violence is not. He was not prosecuting nobody, but not prosecute. Y'all know what I'm saying. We can't. I don't. We can't say that word. He don't want to. He wasn't making, women and men be women and men of the night walkers, like street walkers. Yes, those people that give me $40. So there was a name in criminal law for the violence that we will hear about and we will see at this trial. It is called domestic violence. It is called assault. Ain't that part of the assault? I think that's one of the. Okay, so domestic violence is a very serious matter. I want to say that now. They are crazy. It is a bad illegal problem, and I know that Brian still didn't have anything to do with this opening statement. I could tell y'all. Nicole Westmoreland didn't either. I'm gonna just tell y'all. I already know that they didn't, because Brian still wants to stand up like my client is not agreeing to none of that. They were that was part of a production. Oh, that was all smoke and mirrors. He wanted to live up to this image, but that was nothing. Brian Steele and Nicole Westmoreland, I just know that they wasn't gonna. They were. I know they weren't part of this open statement. They came on this case late. They probably both be in the car like, what the heck? What the heck did we just? What did we sign up for? That's not how they write. We know. We heard. We heard in the YSL trial. How they move, we heard. And some people now in this trial, because Brian still did question a witness, and so did Nicole Westmoreland. And both days, everything that I saw, they was like, well, damn, Brian, who is Brian Steele? Like people that did not watch the trial, the YSL trial. Somebody said they had to go and study him. They studied him and was like, whoa. So yeah, that's why I'm like, I know Brian and Nicole Westmoreland, they have nothing to do with this. So anyway, there was a name in criminal law for that. Oh, we went through that already. Okay. We take full responsibility that there was domestic violence in this case. Domestic, and you know why they're taking full responsibility? Because it is not charged, but it is part of the racketeering act. It is a part of the assault. He used child. Domestic violence is not eggs trafficking. I want to say it again. Domestic violence is not eggs trafficking. Had he been charged with domestic violence, had he been charged with assault, I thought assault was part of the um, tied in with the RICO charge. I'm gonna have to read that again. We will not be here right now. We will not be sitting through an 8-week trial. However, he has been charged with different crimes: eggs trafficking, um, street walking. He was a pimp. I think I could say that, a pimp. Um, racketeering, racketeering. These are federal crimes with their different statutes. They charge different elements, and he is simply not guilty of those crimes. If you look at what he did individually, you will come up with the same conclusion. But when you put them all together in its totality of everything that happened, then you get a RICO. You get all the stuff that she said that you didn't get. They want everybody to look at each one of his crimes individually. Like, oh, let's look at what he did with Cassie. Even that, when her mother testified now, what he did was that's extortion. I don't, the act already happened. Even if he returned the money, it already happened. Those people took a second mortgage out on their house to give him the $20,000 that he demanded that they give him because Cassie left him. And he wanted his money back for what he had did. You already had your money from the label that your label is under, the company your label is under. They already gave you money for Cassie. So what did you really even the money that you use for the free calls? But because they were scared for their daughter's life, her mother, the first time she found out that she was being abused because she lied to her, this fool done sent an email. Give me $20K for the money that I spend on. And the parents took out a second freaking mortgage on their house to send this. You sent the wire transfer information and everything before they sent you anything. And they sent it to the bad boy. His account for bad boy, the bank account for bad boy, the funds went into that account. At that point, you commingled funds with your business, which is proven part of this RICO. You don't get to take it back because you sent the money back 4 days late. You don't get to take it back. It already happened. Before they sent it, you should have been like, oh no, don't send. I was bugging. I was tripping. Don't send it. No, you had sent them the wire information. I guess you really I guess you thought they wasn't going to be able to get the money up. And Cassie was going to come running back to you. And who threatens to leak somebody's ex tape on Christmas, and then he's going to release a series of them on the days following? Who, while you are having a whole P. Diddy Christmas. Welcome to the home of the king. And this is and chestnuts roasting on an open fire. It's playing in the background. And I'm just saying, one Christmas, y'all want to see it, go to his channel. He got a channel over here on YouTube. Go to his channel and look at it. In the meantime, you sending out emails behind the scene, and it may not be the same year, so don't say I said it was the same year. I'm just saying, this is the type of stuff that you do for the holidays. But for this year, when you did this thing, Your gift to her was you was going to release my blink rate. Sorry. Child. Yeah, he didn't think they was going to be able to come up with that money. You are absolutely right. So, So, one of the central themes of my statements to you will be personal accountability and personal responsibility. As the trial goes on, we will see that with each witness, we are going to take that on ourselves. We will not shy away from the things Mr. Combs did, but we will not deny his personal responsibility or own the things he did not do. We are telling you right now that he is physical, that he is a rug user, and I'm telling you, he had a bit of a different ex life. Allie, the people that you told that, they just left. Yeah, that's funny. For example, you have not heard any evidence, and it's wait, he is a rug user. I'm sorry, that's where I was, and I'm telling you, he had a bit of a different ex life. I did say that. For example, you have not heard any evidence in this case, but the prosecutors already told you about lubricant, and you may know of his love of baby oil. Now, you know what? It is. Yes, it is for always. And I said that the other day. That is a crime punishable by jail time. Yes, it is. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, wait a minute. If he when this if he was going to that is corn. Revenge corn on the cob. That is a crime in itself. And the fact that he sent it in an email. He sent it to Cassie, got an email different from the one her mother got. So in Cassie's email, he did tell exactly what he was going to do. But what his defense team does is they don't mention some of those things. They skip right over because they want people to forget it, and then they just hone in on the cat. You was cheating, wasn't you cheating? That's why. What? Isn't that? Did they realize that they already said that he blew up Kid Cudi car? Yes, y'all not. When I tell you that my head was hurting, Allie said to that revenge court, objection to the revenge court on the car. So y'all can't see the objection side unless you're over here on YouTube. But yeah, I have objection side, Dow Brooks objection side. And so yeah, that's what she has up over here, like to that revenge court on the car. I can't say the P word over here on the YouTube. It's so sensitive. I said this video is not for any for kids. Verbally end. I wrote it. It's a button you click. Is this video made for kids? Hell, no, what the hell? No. I gotta read that again because this is funny at best. For example, you have not heard any evidence in this case, but the prosecutors already told you about lubricant, and you may know of his love of baby oil. Is that a federal crime? It's a federal crime when you got so much of it. It is laced with a drug. Child, if they didn't if Jonathan Odie, I don't know if I pronounce his name, if he testifies in this case, which I think he is going to testify in this case, because the crime he committed was in 2014 and he ain't been to court for it yet. But he didn't commit that crime on behalf of Mr. Sean Combs. Let me clear that up. He didn't commit that crime for him. But he was one of the escorts. And when they arrested him, he started talking and they thought he was just crazy. Oh, this guy's losing his mind. Now you're talking about the P. Diddy. He said, yeah, I was him and Cassie's, ex-slave. And they were like, why did you do what you did today? What the other day? Why did you do that? Why did you go up there and pow up the place? That's what we want to know, because you're crazy. He mentioned some other people's names. They have not charged them with anything, and that I have not heard their name in this case yet. I'm not going to say their name. I'm not even going to say a legend. I'm going to leave them folks alone. If they come up, then they come up. If they don't, then they don't. But I'm not going to say that. If y'all want to hear the other people that they name, go on over there to the video. As a matter of fact, I have it somewhere on here. It's not the video that the first video you see of Jonathan Audie, but it's further down. Yeah, we do have that on here. I do have that on my channel, that interrogation. Yeah, that interrogation happened in 2014. He was saying this way before this storm of Cassie and all this stuff with the filing of the lawsuits and stuff. I think it was 2000. I thought it was 2018. So they said it was 2014. So I can look into that, because I thought they said it was 2014. Because I'm like, well, it was 2018. But when I did the video about it, like I think last week, I did a video, and the content that I use, I think they said, yeah, he did. He sure did. I'm not gonna say the names on here. I'm not listen. the go on listen to Let John Audie. He has a little accent, but go on. Anybody else want to see it? Go on over there and listen to Mr. Audie, who he done put up in here in these parts. And I said, okay, but no, people touch on it briefly, but people are really talking about it. Like, he didn't just mention him. He mentioned two others. And it wasn't Jay-Z. So don't think that. Stop. Anywho. So she asked, so you will hear that he got IVs after ingesting drugs. Horrible. Is that a federal crime? No. He will be responsible. He will be accountable for the things that he did, but we will fight for his freedom throughout the next 8 weeks for what he did not do. It's easier to say that these are the things that I did. The NDA was 2014, but I might be mistaken. It was 2018. No, so I want to say that so the NDA was 2014. So yeah, 2014. The crime that he committed might have been 2018. Because I got 2018 from somewhere. The crime, maybe I thought that he was arrested in 2000. Okay, so I'm gonna have to go back and look at it now, because now I'm a little, because Cassie has been married for like 5 years. We in 2020. Yeah, you may be, yeah. You may be right, but he stopped having the freak offs with them. He said he did about 15 sessions. In the video I did last week, yeah, they interviewed him over the phone. A news station did. I'm not sure if you saw that for Always, but a news station interviewed him over the phone. And so, woo child. I said, oh Lord, no. Child. And he didn't say whether he was testifying in this case or not. But I believe that he is, because he has not went to court yet. Shout out to the men and women that's keeping him alive behind the wall, because we all know how that could have went. He's still alive. Thank God for that. So he will be responsible, but and he cannot be the only person in this case who accepts personal responsibility and accountability for his actions. The alleged victims who will testify in this case are capable, strong adult women. What about the men? All right, so they were all getting something each of them wanted from him and from being in a romantic relationship with him. And these adult, capable, strong women will have to take on the same level of personal responsibility for their lives that he is going to take on for his. When any person in life makes an adult choice, that is a free choice. A free choice has pros, it has cons. You may think there are better choices, you may think there are worse choices, but that does not eliminate the personal responsibility behind those choices. And each of the women you will hear from, they all had the personal responsibility and the freedom to make the choices that they made. You will hear from these women, you will see these women, you will meet them. They will sit in that witness chair a few feet away, and you will evaluate them for yourselves. You will see that they are capable. You will see that they are strong, and you will see that they made free choices every single day for years. Gosh, I think that you know what, his name has come up several times in this case so far. And that's why I like I've come to like Tisa Tells. Before I didn't really watch her, but she picked up on some things that like other people aren't saying, and that's why like she's being so successful in reporting on this case. She said the prosecution, when they share a picture of like, say if they say D Rock's name, I'm not for sure I'm going to use somebody else. He looked like he was a saint, but when they put up a picture of somebody that is supposedly testifying for the defense, they said the picture they look like a gangster. She said the pictures look like they are gangster, just hood thugs. She thinks that is a strategy, and I'm like, well, that's a good thing to pick up on. And so she watched several pictures that they have shown in court, and she realized that. So I said, well, that's an interesting observation. So, as you are listening to the evidence and you listen to them testify, I want you to ask yourselves, what are all the ways that this individual had the ability to make that choice? Ask yourselves, what are they getting from being with Sean Combs? They are not with him because they are stuck or because they are without a choice. The government will try to show you that Sean Combs is the only one getting something from each of the alleged victims who testify in this case. But with each of these individuals, ask yourselves, what is this person getting? They are with him or they are working for him because they are getting something they want from being with him. Now, with each person, that something may be different. And it usually is. But with each person, they are all getting something. So as you listen to the evidence, watch closely to the role that jealousy plays in this case. We have talked to you, both of us already, and about jealousy and how it is pervasive and present in every single relationship. But I want to also let you know it drives a lot of the choices that the alleged victims make here. Ooh, girl. Did she watch the video? Did you watch the same video we watched? And that should not be everything else surrounding what happened to Cassie should be what it is. But lady, did you watch the same video? That video alone. Did you watch it? I don't know. So you are going to see that Sean Combs is extremely jealous. You might think that it's hypocritical. You might not like it, but you're going to see that he is also extremely jealous. How many times are you going to say that? So, as you're listening to the evidence and you're evaluating the testimony, ask yourself, what is causing that fight? The answer is, without exception, jealousy or rugs. The things we are going to take responsibility for, it is typically because of jealousy or rug use. The role of jealousy here is critical and it's pervasive. The evidence will show you that over the course of the 20 years we will examine in this courtroom, we'll see the same women over and over. They remain in multi-year relationships with him, and I believe that you'll pretty much know about every relationship he's had over the past 20 years. Again, that's whether this is an employee or a girlfriend. You will pretty much know about every girlfriend he has had. You will see that these women are strong, capable, and they were in love with him. You will see that breaches of trust, infidelity, and jealousy are what drove the domestic violence. Child. you will hear about. You will see that the that alcohol and drugs played a major role in his temper. The evidence is going to show you a very flawed individual, but it will not show you a racketeer, a eggs trafficker, or somebody transporting for uh, ladies who walk the street and give me $40. So, as we've said, you're going to hear from two women, Cassie and Jane. This case is in large part, so they already knew that Gina was not testifying. How? We know how, but this case is in large part about his actual relationships with these two women. And you're going to hear that they went to private hotels to engage in what I expect some witnesses at this case to call the swingers lifestyle. Oh, they don't just slept it, which is essentially just a fancier terminology for threesomes by adults. Oh, wow. Just come right on out with it in the paperwork. Sometimes Combs partook in the eggs with his girlfriend and the male escort, and the male escort singular. Did y'all see all them escorts? Okay. And them escorts said that it was more than one time, more than two times, more than three times, more than four times, two escorts. Oh, you know what? I gotta change that because the first witness is an escort and not Detective Flores, I believe. But I'll take it. I'm gonna take a break after we finish with the opening statement anyway, and I'm gonna have to come back. But sometimes Combs partook in the eggs with his girlfriend and the male escort, and other times he watched while the male escort was having eggs with his girlfriend. You heard the government call these freak offs. I expect you will hear that. I expect you will also hear them called parties and entertainment. You will hear from both Cassie and Jane about these nights. They will testify about their relationships, and you will hear things that should never be heard in a federal courtroom. I think you've heard that already. You've heard things that make you uncomfortable at first, that he liked to watch this. You might hear about his kinky eggs or his preferences for eggs that may make you uncomfortable and may not be what you like to do in your bedroom. But you are not here to judge him for his actual preferences. You are not here to judge him for all purposes. You are here to evaluate whether the government can prove beyond a reasonable doubt what they actually charged him with. They cannot. You've also heard that in his relationships with both Cassie and Jane, he bought them things. Yes, like every relationship, they got things from their boyfriend. Here, a wealthy rapper paid for their housing. He paid for Cassie's car, and he gave them money. He paid for Cassie's car and gave her the money that he got to put out 10 albums, and he only put out one. And they made money from that album. And he's still making money from the album because people are still playing her music. I wasn't a Cassie fan, but boy, I didn't know that so many people were. I like that song, Just Me and You. Now, that's the only one I knew. All right, so I probably know another, but probably didn't know it was this young lady. But she did have one album. They said it was a successful album. Had she continued on, she was in the running to be like the number one of the number one artists, out here. But instead, this is what she was turned. Okay. um, So these are nice houses that he paid for. It was a nice car that Cassie drove, and they were nice vacations on private planes because he is a wealthy individual. Does that excuse abuse? No, it does not. Like, I can't even believe that they are, I don't know. I guess they're doing their job. Yep, and that is the only way that a court will give you a protective order. You had to have been in relationship and living in the same home. As soon as you say no, we don't live together, a lot of judges is like, oh, after they give you a temporary, they may give you a temporary, and then they dismiss it. Yeah, I wasn't living together. Okay, I don't know why the law is like that. It shouldn't be, because some people go to others' home and do this, but that is the way it is. She had her own apartment. Cassie did. So did Jane. He paid for them, but for in Cassie's case, he got money for her in advance. He got an advancement for her. In the other young lady's case, Jane, she wasn't into. She's not into any of this. according to what they're saying. So, all right. So where were we at? All right, so these were vacations that they took together as couples. And as I've said, like every relationship, there was jealousy and there were flaws. But as you evaluate the evidence in this case, remember that he is not charged with being a flawed individual or having a flawed relationship. They did not stay with him over and over again because of force, fraud, or coercion. The evidence in this case will show you that over and over again, day after day, these women fought to be in a relationship, fought to do what they wanted to do in consensual adult relationships. This case started with Cassie, so I think it's best for me to start there. I expect you will hear from her this week. She will sit in this witness box and she will tell you about her 11-year relationship with Sean Combs. You heard that they met when she was an up and coming artist. What you didn't hear is that she had a boyfriend at the time, and he was in a very public relationship with the mother of 4 of his children named Kim Porter. Dirty, dirty, dirty. That's dirty and low down. Dirty, dirty, dirty. Ciao. After the two fell in love and started dating, she broke up with her producer boyfriend. But Combs, for his part, did not break up with Kim. Lord, take the wheel. He remained in a public relationship with her, and that is something that caused extreme jealousy with Cassie. He continued that relationship with Kim Porter until her tragic, untimely death, unaliving, or passing, unaliving, from pneumonia in 2018. This is important because as you look at the evidence and as you evaluate Cassie and Combs' relationship, you will see that their fights, their cheating, their jealousy is typically surrounded. It typically surrounded his cheating or it surrounded hers. This is something that plagued their relationship until the very last day. If you just came in the building and you may have to run, please hit the like button to for engagement. The evidence will show you that he was extremely jealous of Cassie's actual or perceived infidelities, and she was uncontrollably jealous of his. This led to a toxic relationship between two people that I expect the evidence will show deeply, deeply loved each other. Perhaps they did not always show love to one another the way you would with your partner, but they were in a relationship and she was not being trafficked. You will see that over and over again in this decade-long relationship. These two fought about his inability to remain faithful. I expect Cassie to tell you about the jealousy of Kim Porter and another boyfriend that he started dating in 2019, another girlfriend, that he started dating in 2014 named Gina. They put Gina's name in here with all the oomph that they could, without a doubt, because they already knew that Gina was not going to testify against Tim, but the prosecution was one step ahead of them. And they are mad. So this jealousy is something that plagued their relationship, even the day of the Intercontinental video in the elevator bank. That much of you told us during jury selection that you saw. That day, unfortunately, jealousy was on full display. And in combination with the bad rugs that I expect Cassie to testify that Combs took, it led to DV in the elevator bank. This assault happened almost 10 years ago on March 5th of 2016. I expect that we are all going to see this video many, many times throughout this trial. You are going to see it later today, and I expect you to see it many more times throughout this week. You're going to see it a lot, but I want to start by saying two things. First, what Combs did to Cassie on this videotape is indefensible. It is horrible. It's dehumanizing. It's violent. All those things. It's virtually every bad word you can think of. And while it is dehumanizing and violent and terrible, the second most important thing is that it is not evidence of ex trafficking. It is evidence of domestic violence. You will see that it is also evidence of the central theme in this case, which is jealousy. That's what this videotape shows you. As you watch it later today and as you watch it throughout the week, I want you to look for two things. The first part is Cassie walking out of the hotel room, walking down the hallway. She is carrying two bags, and you see that she makes it to the elevators, and then Combs comes down wearing only a towel. He pulls Cassie by the hoodie and she falls to the floor. What? He kicks her in her backside and he stomps her on the back of her leg and he starts to drag her by her hoodie back to the hotel room. You will see him walk away momentarily with her bags, and you will see this. Then he comes back around and walks towards her, and she is kind of in the left part of the screen. When he comes towards her, he has nothing in his hand. And when he walks away from her, you will see an illuminated phone in his hand. He wanted this phone, and he got it. Please understand that this video is overwhelming evidence of domestic violence, but it's overwhelming evidence that this DV is over a phone and not because of eggs trafficking. Oh, you don't want to talk about the escort that was in the room now. But he came on here and told himself. All right, so what causes a fight about a phone? We can all use our life experiences to show us that phones keep the secrets of infidelity. And you will hear that there was another fight even later that year again about a phone. I'm not justifying the assault, yet you sure are, not by a long shot, but I'm putting it in the proper context. You are definitely justifying it because you will see that as soon as he gets the phone, he sits down. He's visibly disgusted. He broke a vase and he threw flowers and stayed away. That's not true. The video has a second part. Cassie calls security from the hotel phone. The security officer comes to the floor, and I expect you will hear from him later today. Combs is sitting in a chair slumped over. He's holding his head in his hands, and the security officer tells them to leave the public area of the hotel where they are making a commotion. You will see Cassie turn to Combs and gesture to her. And pay attention to the words that I think you will see her say to him, which is get back to the room. Two parts. Both of them important and both of them important to show that Combs assaulted Cassie. But you can't stop there because he is not charged with assault. Is it because of eggs trafficking, as the government is going to argue to you, or is it because of something else? I expect the evidence, even just this week, will show you that the fight was over a phone. These two stayed together 2 more years after this incident, and to understand how and to understand why is to understand how this relationship ended. You'll hear that even into 2018, these two were fighting to stay together. But the evidence will show you that in the summer of that year of 2018, she woke up to a gossip site that showed a photo of Combs and Gina, the same woman who he had started having an affair with in 2014, or a relationship with, I should say, walking out of the Standard Hotel together. Cassie could not come back from it. She could not give him another chance, and instead she made the choice, as she often did when he was caught in public with Gina, to break up with him and date another man. Yeah, I just said it here. But before you keep saying she's cheating, but here in the opening statement, you do admit that she breaks up with him and dates another man. Okay. So for Cassie, she made a choice every single day for years, a choice to stay with him, a choice to fight for him, because for 11 years, that was the better choice. That was her preferred choice. And so she made the choice to stay with him until one day she decided she was going to break up with him because that was her preferred choice. So it's important for you to remember as you evaluate the evidence, because she was not coerced to continue or engage in this eggs life with Sean Combs. When she made the decision to leave, there were no repercussions as the government hinted. She made the choice to leave. She communicated it to him and she ran into the arms of another man, a physical trainer who Combs had hired to train her. So I will ask you, ladies and gentlemen, pay close attention to the messages, the real-time communications between these two individuals and the messages surrounding their breakup. Does Combs release the videotapes the government was just talking about? No, he doesn't. Why didn't he? You will hear that the government raided 2 of his homes. You have already heard that over a year ago. They seized countless electronic devices. The only freak-off videos you will see or hear about at this trial came from her devices that she kept for 5 years. So when the government talks about power and control, who had the power? Who had the control? The government did not find any freak off videos with Cassie on those devices, and so going back during the time of Cassie and Combs' breakup, Cassie is already dating her now husband. She is with him for months as she is breaking up with Combs, all while telling Combs she still loves him. And then in November of 2018, Kim Porter tragically passed away from pneumonia. Knowing that Combs would be distraught and wanting to be there for him, she did everything she could to be there. She came to the memorial service at his home. She flew to Kim's home state of Georgia to be at the funeral. Don't lose the sight of the fact that amidst the breakup all the way at the end of 2018, she flew to a funeral service to be there for him and support him and his family. I don't see anything wrong with that. I mean, she had a long life with him. Like, what do you and at the time and at the service at their home, Combs to a group of loved ones, former employees, and others, and to many people on social media who were paying respect, said, and I quote, Kim was my soulmate. Nobody know, y'all, child. And Cassie's presence for everybody here. He said she was my soulmate. All right, just like you was with Young Miami at the award show. She talk about what would the song say, yeah, Poppy or something like that. And he's professing his love for Cassie, who is no longer with him. Come on. What are you talking about? We were present. All right, so in Cassie's presence for everybody to hear, he said she was my soulmate. The end of the relationship between Cassie and Combs is important. And I want you to focus on the evidence of how and why it ended. When Combs publicly said Kim Porter was his soulmate to all the people around him who were there, for the first time maybe ever, Cassie realized all the things she would not be. Oh, y'all getting a little slick with that tone. I expect many witnesses at this trial to tell you she wanted to be Combs' wife. I expect even she may tell you that. That is what she spent 11 years trying to get. And in one day, it became clear to Cassie she was never going to be that. And if she was never going to be Combs' wife, if she was never going to be the love of his life, then she would leave. And if she was never going to be, and that is what she did. On her terms, her choice, for reasons that for her were the right reasons. This is where bringing personal experience to this jury matters. This is something we have all been through. That one life event you can point to where you can say that is when I knew it was over, because that is what this was for her. Because this was a relationship, although toxic at times, like every other relationship, it was not based on coercion. It was not based on force. At a certain point, you know you're not going to get what you need from that other person and you leave. After Kim's funeral, they never saw each other again. The very first time that this former couple will see each other after 6.5 years of a breakup is in this courtroom later today or tomorrow. We are all going to witness their closure, and that is because she moved on with her life and he moved on with his. You will see that she married the trainer. She had 2 children with him, and she's pregnant with her third. And Combs also moved on with his life. As you listen to her testimony, as you read her messages closely, evaluate what Combs' intent was at the time, evaluate what he understood about what she wanted during those 11 years that they spent together. What he understood, I expect the messages to show you, was that she was a willing participant in their egg's life. That was a voluntary adult choice by 2 capable adults. What Cassie may testify to this week, 6 years after a breakup, is not a match for the real-time evidence that you will have. The real-time text messages I urge you to read. Evaluate his intent, which is the only thing that matters here. The government also talked to you a lot about Jane. She is the other woman that the government alleges Combs ex-trafficked. She was his girlfriend of 3 years, and she comes into his life several years after the Cassie breakup. He, I think you will find in the evidence, is a little bit different in 2020 and 2021 than he was when he was dating with Cassie. And I think the most important reason you will see is that he was more upfront about his dating life. Rather than saying that he was only dating one person, he was very upfront with Jane. I expect her to tell you that he was dating multiple different women. However, as I started my opening statement, this did not stop the jealousy. Jane's relationship with Combs was plagued by jealousy. Their relationship was not the 11-year public romance that Combs and Cassie had. The problem is that Jane wished that it was. The government told you that their relationship was not public. You are going to hear from Jane why that was. There were many different reasons why that was. And so after a period of time, their relationship becomes primarily exual. Jane is also older than Cassie was when she started dating him, and she was living her own life in a different state, raising her child. She is a capable, strong adult woman, and you are going to hear, as I expect that you've already heard, that pretty soon after her relationship with Combs started, he brought up the idea of whether she would want to have X with another man. Ciao. Again, like a consensual threesome. And Combs would watch. She agreed, and they went to a private hotel room away from his employees, away from family. And I expect that she will testify that she enjoyed that night. She laid down on the couch after and said to herself, like, wow, I can't believe I just did that. And you will see that Combs really began to love these hotel nights with her. Oh, hold on, y'all. I'm over here looking. I did not see the camera. Done the battery. Like, listen, child. They are justifying. They are justifying. To me, at least, his behavior. Um, and this is what they are paid to do, and right, I can't argue with that. But you know that that's what they are paid to do. But yeah, I don't appreciate. I don't like the opening either. I mean, it's just really, really crazy. Oh, I wouldn't work either if I didn't. Child, I didn't put the battery yet. So I don't. Yeah, their opening is really. But I guess they're doing what they're paid to do, and we like, and we are just like, listen, that this shouldn't be the case. But who are we? All right, so I believe that they would be like, oh, you guys on the outside looking in, like you don't know what you're talking about. You're not attorneys, blah 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 blah. Either way you look at it, it's wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. Yeah, I mean, they are definitely using it to justify his actions. So I expect she will testify that she did this because she loved him. She was desperate to spend time with him, to be with him, and ultimately to give him something none of the other girlfriends that he was dating at the time were giving him. She will tell you that she tried many times to change the tenor of the relationship from one of a pure exual nature to something maybe deeper or more meaningful. I'm not sure exactly how she will put that to you, but she will testify that it always came back to what they would call parties, which were these nights in hotel rooms. And the evidence will show you that she did it over and over again for 3 years because she made the choice. And this became their time together. This became their eggs life. And I expect that she will testify that she realized that if she didn't have these hotel nights with Combs, they may not get their alone time together, which is time she so deeply craved. She wouldn't get her bills paid either. Y'all left that out. So I expect she will tell you that she kept coming back over and over again because she did it for the affection, she did it for the love, for the cuddle, and because she knew it would make him happy, and she wanted more than anything to make him happy. She was unable to resist him emotionally, and her desire to be with him outweighed all other considerations of hers. The government told you about a phone call they had in November of 2023. I expect the evidence will show you that even after this phone call, she continued. She flew out to see him many more times and continued willingly engaging in these nights. The evidence is going to show you a toxic and dysfunctional relationship between these two individuals. And you may think to yourself, wow, he is a really bad boyfriend. But the evidence is going to show you that she is a capable, strong woman who willingly engaged in their eggs life so they could spend time together. That is simply not eggs trafficking. I expect her to testify that she was a willing participant, and being a willing participant in your own ex life is not eggs trafficking. I expect her to also testify that there were nights she engaged in the ex because she hoped she could turn their relationship from one of a more usual relationship into something more. And she will testify that if she walked away, she would have lost him. That is not something she was willing to do. And as I said, you will see her jealousy on full display at this trial. And you will see that she was willing to engage in these nights with Combs, and then she would be on social media after, and she would see he was with another one of his girlfriends, either out to dinner or traveling, and she would send messages with regret afterwards. These are born out of jealousy, which was the root of their troubles. And regret does not mean that she was coerced. Her jealousy drove her to make the moves that she made. As I said, every single witness in this case had free choice to make the choices that they made. The jealousy of other women in Combs' life was one of hers. Seeing the other women that he would be on social media posts with or otherwise drove her to try to be in first place and made her more desirous of their time. This was the way to get there, and the evidence will show you that is simply not a crime. The government also told you about a night a year ago where Jane hit Combs. Once again, as I said, this was a night born out of jealousy. You will hear, as you've already heard, that he also hit her back. But what you didn't hear was the start of the fight. She was overcome by jealousy that night. She slammed his head down on her kitchen counter. I don't believe that. This is how the fight started. I do not want to justify this night. I do not want to justify the assault, but I simply am here to tell you that the evidence will show you that it starts because she slams his head on the kitchen counter. And you are also going to hear that less than a month or approximately a month after this assault, an incident of domestic violence at her home, she flew to Combs' home in Miami. She called an escort and had what I expect her to say was one of the her best hotel nights that she had with one of their regular escorts. Lord, take the dag on wheel. This is too much. Now, during the testimony of both Cassie and Jane, I expect the government is going to put in a bunch of videotapes of the so-called freak-offs or hotel nights or wild king nights, however you would like to call them, into evidence. These videotapes depict what we've been telling you about Sean Combs, one of his girlfriends, and a man. These videos, we believe, are powerful evidence that the actual conduct in this case was consensual and not based on coercion. Ali says, objection. But I want to say one thing to you now. Some of you may find them hard to watch, not because they are violent, not because they are non consensual, but because they were never meant to be seen by people outside of that room. They are, in one word, intimate, and they were always meant to remain that way. The reason these videos will be seen by you is because the government has chosen to take possession of these videos and to put them into evidence in a federal courtroom. Playing these videos will feel invasive, but the government has charged him with eggs trafficking, and the evidence of the alleged eggs trafficking is on these videos. This is why you will have to see them. You may hear about other women. The government told you about someone named Mia. For example, I urge you to pay attention to these other women's real-time communications with Combs. Ask yourself, why are they making this allegation now? What is their motive? You will conclude, like you will with every single other witness in this case, that everybody who testifies has a motive. With Mia, for example, I asked you to evaluate her motive when you listen to her testimony. What are the reasons she is saying what she might be saying now, what she never said before, and certainly never said when she first started cooperating with the government? This is someone you should evaluate her messages carefully, ones of unbelievable love for Combs throughout her employment. You are also going to hear from several other past employees of his. They will try to paint a picture for you of a hostile workplace. Um, as I've said with nearly every single witness in this case, when these people testify, ask yourself, why did anybody, if they were so scared and if this was so hostile, ever call the police? Why not? I expect that the evidence will show you that the testimony against him, their former boss, for many, not all, is vindictive or they are being subpoenaed to give it. Like every other witness, ask yourself, what is this something? What is the reason that they stayed? You will find with every single person, they had something. So when you hear from the witnesses who testify here, who will tell you they were victimized, and you ask yourself, what is their motive? For many of them, the answer is simple: money. This criminal case started because of Cassie, not because she went to law enforcement with her allegations, but because she filed a public lawsuit against Combs in November of 2023. At this time, when she was having financial trouble and living in her parents' modest home in Connecticut with her family. Rather than go to law enforcement about what had allegedly happened to her, she went to a civil lawyer who is here today. I expect that this trial, from nearly every witness that you hear from, they will tell you that instead of going to law enforcement after either their employment ended for the alleged victims, they went to a civil lawyer for a money grab. They will claim that they were so afraid of this man that they could, of course, not go to the police because he was so powerful. But they were not so afraid that they could not go to civil lawyers to make money demands against them. Demands for unbelievable amounts of money, more than any of us have ever made. Cassie, for example, will tell you that she first made a demand on Combs for $30 million. Another witness will tell you that in a breach of contract case, she made a demand for $22 million. And as you listen to these witnesses, and there will be many, as the prosecutor told you, who made civil demands against him, I want you to ask yourself, how many millions of reasons does this witness swearing to tell the truth and nothing but the truth have to lie? Whoa, I know, did they just really go there? Ciao. Will you really believe that these people who have demanded an unimaginable amount of money from Mr. Combs would have traded all of that to not have been abused? Because if that is the case, I submit that you will consider, why did they never go to law enforcement? So in closing, the evidence will be framed to prove from the government. They will attempt to prove racketeering, influence, and corrupt organizations act charge, 2 eggs trafficking charges, and 2 Lady of the Night counts. The evidence you will hear at this trial will not make out any of them. The conspiracy charge is that Combs allegedly committed 2 counts of acts of kidnapping, 1 act of arson, a bribery and obstruction of justice, forced labor, and drug trafficking. They've already started proving the forced labor. The witness that flipped, he was saying some weeks he worked 80 to 100 hours against the law. That's against, depending on, you can work 16-hour shifts at a time, but that's extreme. So I'm going to take these briefly in turn, and then I'm going to ask you to evaluate the evidence by the witnesses who will testify about these acts. First, he did not commit any of these acts in terms of the alleged bribery and the obstruction of justice. This relates to the Intercontinental Hotel incident that we've talked about this morning. You will hear, as you already did, that he paid money to a security guard at the Intercontinental, so the footage would go away. This was solely related to preventing bad publicity for both Combs and Cassie, and had nothing to do with obstructing a law enforcement investigation. So, Lord, did he just admit to the bribery, but then they got in court and said it wasn't a bribery? I'm gonna have to take a little sip. I've been reading for a long time, y'all. Let me give you a little sip of water of agua. Did they, in this opening statement, even though that the opening statement is not considered evidence, but did y'all admit, child? Whew, okay, let's go. No law enforcement investigation existed, period. That is a requirement. And so the evidence will show you he simply did not commit those acts. If he paid them off, if he robbed them so that this stuff wouldn't come out, there wouldn't be a law enforcement investigation. Are they saying afterwards, after they started this case? Or are you saying on that day? Cassie was able to leave. This security guard was still had went downstairs with um when Cassie left. But I believe I don't. I believe it was afterwards. We'll get to it because yeah, he's going to testify. Um, and had nothing to do with obstructing a law enforcement investigation. So as to the kidnappings and the arson, I submit that you are not going to find there were any kidnappings, and he was simply not involved in the alleged arson. The government told you that the kidnappings relate to one employee, who I am telling you, the evidence will show worked for Combs for almost a decade. So he did kidnap somebody. What are we talking about here? I'm confuzzled. In one breath, you said he didn't kidnap anybody, but he did kidnap one. Make it make sense. I guess they want him to take the S off of kidnappings and just make it kidnapping. Even if they take the S off to so that it won't be plural, you are still admitting that he kidnapped somebody. Lord help me. Child. As you listen to her testimony and evaluate, oh, it was a lady. Was this person actually kidnapped? I expect the evidence is going to show you that even after the criminal investigation into Combs started, she asked to work for him again 12 years after her employment ended. 12 years after she claimed she had been kidnapped the last time. Now, more than a decade after these kidnapping acts. And so the evidence is going to show you that he simply did not commit them. As to the drug trafficking, I submit the evidence is going to show you that the rugs are personal use rugs for him and at times the women he was with. And those rugs have nothing to do with an enterprise. As to the forced labor, you will see that Combs worked hard, his employees worked hard, but they were there to do something great and novel for his lawful businesses. So you work them like a dog? I'm confuzzled. It was not forced. Being there was an adult free choice like everything else in this case. Second, the RICO conspiracy requires a group effort, even if the group is two people. And there will be no evidence of that. So as you are listening to the evidence, ask yourself, who is Combs actually conspiring with to violate the Racketeering Influence Corrupt Organization Act? The answer will be no one. Finally, the last of the charges I will talk to you about are the two counts that charge him with causing interstate travel for the purposes of pimp, pimp, pimpulation, being pimp, P-I-M-P, pimping. For him to be guilty, I expect the judge will tell you that he had to intentionally engage in what he knows to be um, selling ladies of the night. What the evidence is going to be is that he was paying different men for their time and an experience. Think about the corn industry, sorry, Allie, corn on the cob industry, for example. Actors in corn movies are paid for their time. Generally, they have eggs, otherwise, it wouldn't be corn. You also hear about many companies. I expect you'll hear from one later today called Hunkamania. Lord, this is not funny, but it's just I was not excited. I didn't hear nobody talk about Hunkamania. A company called Cowboys for Angels that advertise online across the country where you can pay money for time and an experience. What? These escort companies are common and they do not advertise themselves as money for eggs. They advertise themselves as money for time and money for an experience. And that is what Sean Combs was doing. He was paying money for that experience. So, in closing, I ask you once again to listen carefully to all of the evidence. You are not here to judge or impose your moral beliefs onto this man. You are here as a jury of his peers to determine whether the government can meet its burden of proving beyond a reasonable doubt that he committed these crimes. When you hear the evidence, when you go back into the jury room and evaluate the evidence in light of the crimes that are actually charged here, you will return the only verdict that the evidence demands, and that is he not ooh, he is not guilty. They say he not guilty. He's not guilty of these crimes. The court. All right. At this time, I think it's appropriate for us to take a break for lunch. I agree. So we're going to take a little bit longer of a break today because I think that some of the folks in the jury office and the marshal service have things to discuss with our jurors. It is now 12:13. We will come back at 1:15 and we will make some adjustments to the courtroom. So, just a reminder, during lunch, do not have any discussions with each other about this case. Don't look up anything about this case. Do not have any discussions with anyone about this case, and no one here in the courtroom or outside of it is to have any discussions with the jurors whatsoever. With that, all rise for the jury. Listen, y'all. So let's see. The court, please be seated. Do either of the parties have anything to raise before we adjourn for lunch? Miss Comey, not from us, Your Honor. Mr. Steele, Mr. Steele, y'all know I gotta read Mr. Steele. I was about to cut it off right there and come back. So good afternoon, Your Honor. I just want to call the court's attention. The prosecutor for the first witness is going to attempt to introduce, I believe she's very professional, told me 2 exhibits. It's government exhibit, is that 7R141, as well as government exhibit 7R148. I will have an objection to both. Did he go already? All right, Ryan. I just want to give you a heads up in case you wanted to discuss it at all. I didn't want to slow down the case. The court. Well, in the future, let's try to have these things raised the day before, because in this kind of situation, what I would have done is had the parties address these issues at the beginning of the day. That's just for the next time. But for now, what are these exhibits and what is the objection? Ms. Slavic, Your Honor, I can take it from here. We apologize for not raising this until today. The government has been conferring with defense about business records stipulations, and the government had thought that we reached an agreement over the weekend. The defense informed us that they would not be stipulating to the admissibility of these particular records. So at issue here for the first witness that the government intends to call, that's one of the security guards at the Intercontinental Hotel in 2016. The 2 exhibits are 2 separate incident reports. I have paper copies of those exhibits. If Your Honor would like to see them, Essentially, the first exhibit is an incident report that the security guard drafted and sent per hotel policy in practice approximately 3 hours after the incident. The report included the guard's, a recounting of his personal observations and interactions with the defendant and victim 1. This particular report included photos that were taken of the hotel lobby that showed the broken vase and the damage caused to the lobby. This first report was drafted and sent by the guard before he had reviewed the video surveillance. So the second incident report that the government intends to offer is exactly the same as the first, but includes an addendum that describes the video surveillance that he reviewed after the incident. So this guard will testify that drafting and sending incident reports like these were part of his responsibilities as a security officer at the Intercontinental Hotel, and that he drafted and sent incident reports like these in the normal course of his duties. I'm gonna have to fix those. Mention both incident reports were sent immediately after the incident in question. So the government obtained these incident reports along with other documents from the parent corporation of the hotel, along with the business record certification also produced by the parent corporation. And under these circumstances, the government's position is that these incidents, reports are admissible, and under the business record exception to hearsay, that's 803. And I'm happy to get further into why the government submits that the conditions laid out in 803.6 are met here. The court. Well, I mean, you're going to have the witness prove it up, right? Of course. The witness will lay the foundation for entry of these documents as business records. The court. Right. You don't have the individual who executed the stipulation. You're not relying on that. That's right. You're relying on what you have from the parent corporation. You have the um, Miss Slavic, who drafted and sent the documents. Exactly. The court. So, Mr. Steele, what's the nature of your objection? Mr. Steele, Your Honor, the objection is threefold. First of all, on the Exhibit 7R148, Your Honor, there is an addendum, as the prosecutor just told you, and this is the speculation of the witness. He's watching, he's a security guard. He comes up to the sixth floor of this hotel. He interacts with Cassie and Mr. Combs. And then he goes back down eventually to his office and he watches the video recording that he had not seen before. Then he details his opinions about that recording that he does not have personal knowledge of, including that Mr. Combs attempted to take Cassie's phone away. I don't believe that he would know whose phone that is from watching that video. No personal knowledge. In addition to that, Your Honor, he has impressions in the body of both of the exhibits, 141 and 148, such as in the second paragraph that Mr. Combs began to offer me a bribe. That's a quote, Your Honor. That is his mental impression. I just don't want the document to go in. I understand he's a witness. We'll cross-examine him. I'm not objecting to that. I'm objecting to this document going into evidence. In addition to that, Your Honor, he talks about in the third full paragraph that he did not want Mr. Combs to see Cassie. That is when Cassie is outside on the street level waiting on her car. And he talks about what he himself did not want, meaning that Mr. Combs was going to come back down the sixth floor, which did not happen. And he talks about a co-worker, 80, A-D-E-Y. Here you go, the alphabet steal. Shout out to Cat Dot Williams, who he went up to room 602 with Mr. 80. And that Mr. Combs, he speculates, is about to start yelling. My point is, Your Honor, that I believe that all of that is speculation. It should not go in on either document. He also writes in the third paragraph that if Mr. Combs touches Miss 80 again, the Los Angeles Police Department would escort Mr. Combs from the hotel property. There is no police there. There is no police called. There is no discussion of the police. So I don't believe that under 8036E that this document is trustworthy. It is not all based on personal knowledge. And under 403, oh, there goes 403. Okay. There are parts of it that are prejudicial. And I don't believe that it should come in either document, the court. All right. I think you anticipated my question. So your objection comes under 8036E and 403, right? Mr. Steele, fair. The court. Okay, I understand. So, Ms. Slavic, do you have the paper copies? Could you hand them up? I do, Your Honor. So we'll pick this up after the lunch. Anything further, Mr. Steele? Mr. Steele says no, sir. The court, all right, we're adjourned. We will come back at 1:15. All right, and we are adjourned. We are adjourned, ladies and gentlemen. So it is 3:47 p.m. The Girl Survivor Speaks is going to hop off here. I did have the next live set up for 4 o'clock, where we're going to do the first witness. And I believe I need to change because the first witness is... here comes this crazy... hold on, let me see. They actually go into that, but I want to see. So yeah, it is Mr. Flores. So it's Officer Flores. So yes, I do have it correct as I have it on the thumbnail, but I am going to change the time. I need to just take a breather, rest my throat a minute. So I'm probably going to change the time to 4:45. Alex says, what a chaotic trial. Anybody that's here before I end the show, please hit the like. I will see you guys. I'm going to change the time to 4:45 as I stated. You guys over on Twitter, X formerly known as Twitter, thank you for hanging in here with us. Anybody that came in or out of here on YouTube, thank you for coming in, and hit that like button for as a free way to support the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Ali, once again, thank you for all that you do. If I have anything before we start, I'll reach out to you personally. Thank you for being here. I am going to change the time on the next one to about an hour. It's 3:49 now 4:45. I'm going to change the time. So we're going to come back and get into the officer or security guard, as you will. Still, was that a low blow? In security, they still call them officer. Like he's a security guard, but the security guard does acknowledge them as officers, but they're not law enforcement. They're officers that are not licensed to carry. And they don't have to go through as much training as correction officers or police officers. So correction officers go through the same training as police officers, minus the tactical driving. That's the only thing. That's the only difference. The tactical driving and all that. But anyway, so I will see you guys back here at 4:45. I prefer YouTube, but if you are on X watching, you can come over and hit the like button over here. You can definitely watch on X. We're going to see how it goes and continue streaming to both platforms. And then I'm going to end the show the way I end all my shows, by bringing awareness that men get breast cancer too, because of the stigma surrounding the word breast. We have changed the word to chest and or pet cancer over here. And so let's continue to end the stigma and continue to bring awareness that men get breast cancer too, and to all of my ladies. Please make sure that you are getting your mammograms, that you are filling on your boobies to make sure that you are all right. All right. And don't you dare let anyone come into your house and disturb the peace that passes all understanding. I'm Survivor Speaks. I'll see you guys in about an hour. Oh, wow. It's 3:51 already. So, yeah, maybe I'll change the time to 4:55. I need an hour. Okay. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for coming. Oh, look at that. Thank you so much for coming and rocking out with me. See you guys later. Please hit that like button. Survivor Speaks is the name at the end of the day. People love me or hate me, I don't care either way. Breast cancer busted through like a thief in the night. A cancer's ass was knocked out before the end of the fight. A champion coming through, knocking everything out. This is hard if you see, I do nothing for clout. Just like cancer, I'll let nothing take me out. So be respectful when you step foot inside of my house. Or prepare to have your ass escorted on out. So hop up out the bushes, wipe your feet, take a seat, and get comfortable and chill with your girl. Survivor Speaks, yeah. Hey, hey, hey. Who, what? I'm Survivor Speak. What time is it? What time is it? It's time for you to hit that like and subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you get a notification each and every time that I go live. Yeah.